watching Republic TV Quick Morning with me, Kriti Mehta. Now in this bulletin, we bring you stories from across the nation, from around the world, from sports, business and entertainment. But first up, let's start up as always with the nation first this quick morning. Congress MP Arnab Goswami recently found himself embroiled in a controversy after posting a video on social media opposing the Advantage Assam 2.0 initiative. The video, which was quickly deleted, included a map of India that sparked a significant backlash due to its portrayal of Jammu and Kashmir and Aksai Chin as disputed territories. Despite deleting the video shortly after posting it, the incident has attracted widespread attention, with critics accusing him of misrepresenting India's borders. Following the uproar, Arnab Goswami uploaded a separate video clarifying his position. However, the incident comes at a time when both he and his wife are already under investigation for alleged links to Pakistan's inter-services intelligence.
परमिट का अगर आप टोटल कर लें तो 100 लाख करोड़ अब तक निवेशकों ने कहा है कि वो भारत में निवेश करेंगे। सुनने में तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन क्या यही वास्तविक सच्चाई है? दोस्तों, सच्चाई तो ये है कि निजी निवेशकों का स्थिति बहुत गंभीर है।
And up next, 3 Hindus have gone missing in Kathua district, and even after 60 hours, there is no clue of the trio. The individuals disappeared while traveling to a wedding ceremony. The security forces, including the Jammu and Kashmir Police and the Indian Army, have now launched massive search operations. Amid this, a terror-linked claim has emerged where a Lashkar-backed terror group has released a disturbing message hinting at their involvement in the disappearance. Now, after the claim, security forces have intensified their search operations.
सर, मेरी विधानसभा बिलावर में जस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए मैं सर इस हाउस को सदन को बताने के लिए आज से 3 दिन पूर्व एक बारात गई और उस बारात में जाने के बाद रास्ते में से 3 नौजवान मिसिंग हो जाते हैं। मैंने जस्ट खाली इस हाउस को ये बताने के लिए ये बात यहाँ पे रखी है। अभी तक उन नौजवानों का कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा। एक बारात गई थी और यहाँ तक हो सका हमने कंसर्न अधिकारियों से बात की है। उसी के साथ एक और बात जोड़ना चाहूंगा।
The Guwahati police questioned YouTuber Ranveer Alabadia in connection with the case launched following the outrage over his offensive remarks on India's Got Latent show. While being accompanied by his advocate, Alabadia appeared before the crime branch where he was interrogated for several hours. India informed that it is working closely with the US in expediting the extradition of the Havur Rana, a key plotter of the dastardly 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Following his talks with Prime Minister Modi in last month, Trump announced approving Rana's extradition to India. Rana, who is a Canadian national of Pakistani origin, is currently lodged in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles.
In President Trump's comments regarding the extradition of the Havur Rana. The joint statement, which was adopted during the visit of the Prime Minister, also reflects this sentiment. We are working closely with the US government to complete the necessary formalities to allow for his extradition to India. So that is where it is. There are certain legalities in the United States for which I cannot answer, but those also have to be taken care of. But our understanding is that we are working with the US government and his extradition should happen.
And India voiced concern over Bangladesh releasing certain violent extremists and underlined that it is the responsibility of the interim government in Dhaka to protect Hindus and other minorities as well as their religious institutions. India said that it supports a stable, peaceful, inclusive and progressive Bangladesh in which all issues are resolved through democratic means and by holding inclusive and participatory elections.
Repeatedly underlined that it is the responsibility of the interim government of Bangladesh to protect the Hindus and other minorities as well as their properties and religious institutions. As you would have seen so far, only 1,254 incidents of over 2,374 incidents reported from between August 5th, 2024 to February 16, 2025 have been verified by the police.
India pressed the United Kingdom to take action against the pro-Khalistan elements involved in the breach of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's security in London and said the incident showed the license accorded to such forces. The incident unfolded when a pro-Khalistani protester attempted to break barricades while some others chanted anti-India slogans as Jaishankar was leaving the Chatham House after concluding an interactive session at the institute. The Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal suggested that the sincerity of the British authorities over the incident would be measured on the action they take against the culprits involved.
We have conveyed our deep concern to the UK authorities about the breach of security arrangements by UK-based separatist and extremist elements during External Affairs Minister's visit. There is a larger context to the incident, and it's important to understand that. It brings out both the license accorded to such forces as well as indifference to their intimidation, threats and other actions aimed at impeding our legitimate diplomatic activities in the UK.
An NHRC team which is probing into the death of a 20-year-old Nepalese girl student at the KIIT University met senior officials at KIIT and its founder Achyuta Samanta. The National Human Rights Commission team began its inquiry into the incident on Thursday following a massive uproar. And Delhi BJP President Virendra Sachdeva alleged massive corruption in the Aam Aadmi Party government-run Mohalla clinics and accused former Health Minister Satyendra Jain and Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal of running shops of corruption in the name of free healthcare. Sachdeva's reactions come after Jain strongly criticized the BJP's plan to shut down 250 Mohalla clinics, calling it a move that would paralyze the city's healthcare infrastructure.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जिस तरह के आरोप लगा रहे हैं ये बेबुनियाद हैं। मोहल्ला क्लिनिक तो बंद नहीं किए जा रहे, हाँ अलबत्ता अरविंद केजरीवाल और सत्येंद्र जैन की भ्रष्टाचार की दुकानें बंद हो गई। फ्री टेस्ट के नाम पे कैसे घोटाला किया, अगर हमारे स्वास्थ्य मंत्री कह रहे हैं उसकी जांच होगी तो इनको लगता है मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बंद किए जा रहे हैं।
And let's move on now, viewers, to take a look at some of the top stories from the business world from across India and around the world. US President Donald Trump said that he is strongly considering imposing sanctions on banking as well as tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and peace agreement is reached with Ukraine. This comes after Trump recently paused military aid to Ukraine to pressure Kyiv to accept a ceasefire deal after a meeting at the Oval Office with Zelensky last week. Trump's remarks come after Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah, no, I believe him. I think we're doing very well with Russia. But right now they're bombing the hell out of Ukraine. I'm finding it more difficult, frankly, to deal with Ukraine. And they don't have the cards. As you know, we're meeting in Saudi Arabia on sometime next week, early. And we're talking, I find that in terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia, which is surprising because they have all the cards. I mean, they're bombing the hell out of them right now. And I put a statement in, a very strong statement. Can't do that. Mr. President, we're trying to help them, and Ukraine has to get on the ball and get a job done. Michael, could.
And the recently concluded Mahakumbh Mela 2025 in Prayagraj in UP was not only a grand religious gathering, but also a platform for entrepreneurial success. Among the many stories of dedication and hard work, the journey of Pintu Maharana and his family stands out as a testament to resilience and vision. Inspired by the success of boat operators during the 2019 Ardh Kumbh, the head of a boatman family took a bold step by commissioning 70 boats to cater to the millions of devotees attending the 45-day event. UP CM Yogi Adityanath highlighted the success of the boatman's family in the State Assembly, noting that their fleet of boats earned a staggering rupees 30 crore during the event.
45 दिनों की अवधि में इन लोगों ने शुद्ध बचत की है 30 करोड़ रुपए की। यानी एक नाव ने 45 दिनों में 23 लाख रुपए की बचत की है, कमाई की है। प्रतिदिन के अगर आप उनकी बचत देखेंगे तो यह लगभग 50 से लेके 52,000 पर डे की उनकी इनकम थी एक नाव की।
And presenting his 16th budget, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah outlined the fiscal policies and budget allocations for the next fiscal year with a particular emphasis on improving infrastructure in Bengaluru. The budget announced an increase in funding for Bengaluru's infrastructure with rupees 7,000 crore allocated, an increase of rupees 4,000 crore from the usual annual allotment. A new special purpose vehicle will be established to efficiently implement major developmental projects. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu recalled an anecdote about former US President Bill Clinton's visit to Hyderabad in the early 2000s. Speaking at an event, Naidu revealed that despite not officially inviting Clinton, the American leader was determined to visit the city. When Naidu inquired about Clinton's motivation for choosing Hyderabad, the former US president responded that he had read numerous international articles highlighting the city's rise as a technology and business hub. Clinton's visit to Hyderabad was a significant moment in the city's transformation into an international IT destination. All right, viewers, let's move on to take a look at some of the top stories from across the world. Now we're going to bring you updates from the United States and the peace negotiations on the wars. Let's start right now. US President Donald Trump says he sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader over its advancing nuclear program. Trump made the comments in an interview aired Friday by Fox Business News. The letter appeared to have been addressed to Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The White House, however, did not immediately respond to the news. President Trump pulled the US out of the previous agreement in 2018, which imposed curbs on Iran's nuclear program in return for sanctions relief. And since then, Tehran has built a stockpile of highly enriched uranium that is enough for use in multiple nuclear weapons.
Great people, but they had a tough regime, and they'd meet and they'd be shot in the streets. I mean, it was a tough deal. But I would rather negotiate a deal. I'm not sure that everybody agrees with me, but we can make a deal that would be just as good as if you won militarily. But the time is happening now. The time is coming up. Something's going to happen one way or the other. I hope that Iran, and I've written them a letter saying, I hope you're going to negotiate, because if we have to go in militarily, it's going to be a terrible thing.
And as his premiership nears end, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau turned visibly emotional as his premiership comes to an end. Now, the 53-year-old Canadian leader claimed that he prioritized Canadians' interests while in office. On January 6, Trudeau had announced his resignation as Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party. He has stated that he will remain as the Prime Minister and party leader until a new Liberal Party leader is chosen.
On a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future.
Up next, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is urging concerted action by nations and stakeholders in the promotion of women's rights around the world. In a message released to mark International Women's Day, the UN's top diplomat said, when the doors of equal opportunity are open for women and girls, everyone wins. He added that equal societies are more prosperous and peaceful and the foundation of sustainable development.
If equal opportunity are open for women and girls, everyone wins. Equal societies are more prosperous and peaceful, and the foundation of sustainable development. On this International Women's Day, we recognize 30 years of progress and achievement since the landmark United Nations Conference in Beijing. This transformed the rights of women and reaffirmed those rights as human rights. Since then, women and girls have shattered barriers, defied stereotypes, and demanded their rightful place.
And the United Nations Human Rights Council is urging for more support in Syria as up to 1 million displaced people in the northwest yearn to return home within the next year. According to the UNHCR survey, 600,000 of them are aiming to return in the next 6 months. The study, conducted from January 26 to 23 February, surveyed 4,800 households, over 29,000 individuals across 514 displaced sites. On December 8 last year, the Bashar al-Assad regime collapsed during a major offensive by opposition force.
We believe that they can go home, but actually they want to go home, and they want to go home as quickly as possible. And that is something that has not happened for the past 13 years. So this is an extraordinary opportunity for us to help them realize that dream that they have had for the past 13 years since they left their homes.
And the United Nations Security Council was briefed on the chemical weapons situation in Syria since the fall of the Assad regime in October last year. Izomi Nakamitsu, the UN's High Representative for Disarmament Affairs, told the Council that the situation left by the previous Syrian authorities is extremely worrying, but expressed optimism that the new government will adhere to previous Security Council resolutions. Syria is currently under transitional government headed by rebel leader Ahmad al-Shara.
Therefore, I am encouraged that the new authorities have expressed their desire and commitment to embark on a new chapter of cooperation with the OPCW to close the outstanding issues.
Japan and Britain's foreign and economy ministers agreed Friday to promote free and open international trade at their first 2+2 dialogue on the economy held in Tokyo. Now, later addressing a news conference, UK's foreign minister said that Ukraine war was in focus in discussion.
Putin's illegal war in Ukraine was a major focus. We both want to see this war brought to a lasting end. Europe is stepping up, but Japan can help too, including on ramping up economic pressure on Putin. Direct DPRK involvement remains a major moment. Japan has long lived with erratic DPRK behaviour. We both want Pyongyang both back at the path of diplomacy.
The European Union's top representatives debriefed its partner countries, Canada, the UK, Turkey, Norway and Iceland, on the developments of its emergency summit on defense and Ukraine aid through a video conference on Friday. European Union leaders committed to working together to bolster the continent's defenses and explore new ways to beef up their security and ensure future protection for Ukraine. It comes after the US and President Donald Trump's repeated warnings that he would cut Europe adrift to face the threat of Russia alone. The event was attended by the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, European Council President Antonio Costa, and the European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas. And Donald Trump has once again criticized India's trade policies, calling it a very high tariff nation. He's warned that reciprocal tariff will come into effect on April 2. He was speaking at an Oval Office event on Thursday. President Trump described the upcoming levies as the big one among the many duties his administration has planned. The comments came as Indian Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is in Washington for discussions with Trump administration officials on trade policy between the two nations.
Mexico, and then you just go right down the line. India charges us massive tariffs, massive. You can't even sell anything into India. It's almost restrictive. It is restrictive. You know, we do very little business inside. They've agreed, by the way, they want to cut their tariffs way down now. because somebody's finally exposing them for what they've done.
Welcome back, viewers. Now let's take a quick check of some of the stories from the action-packed world of sports with our exciting highlights from all the latest right here. New Zealand head coach Gary Stead has admitted that Matt Henry's availability for the Champions Trophy final against India remains uncertain after the Pacers sustained a shoulder injury during the semi-final against South Africa in Lahore. Legendary Sunil Gavaskar believes Rohit Sharma should not be content with scoring just 25 to 30 runs and must focus on building longer innings, as his presence at the crease can have a game-changing impact for India. His highest score in the ongoing Champions Trophy is 41 against Bangladesh in the opening game. New Zealand coach Gary Stead considered that Varun Chakravarti will be a big threat in the Champions Trophy final, and the Kiwis will put on their thinking caps to work on the ways to negate India's mystery spinner. Varun ended up with figures of 5 for 42 against New Zealand in the group stage match. Harmanpreet Kaur has been reprimanded and fined 10% of her match fee for breaching the WPL Code of Conduct. She admitted to the Level 1 offence under Article 2.8, which relates to showing dissent at an umpire's decision during a match. And claiming that New Zealand would be no pushovers, former England captain Nasser Hussain has said that Kiwis will be a much tougher side to beat than South Africa, whom India beat in the 2024 T20 World Cup final. Shubman Gill, Steve Smith and Shubman Gill have been nominated for the ICC Men's Player of the Month award for February 2025. The right-handed India opening batter has been in phenomenal form in the 50-over format, and his form has helped Rohit Sharma and company reach the final of ICC Men's Champions Trophy 2025. India's star test batter Cheteshwar Pujara doesn't find merit in Dubai advantage argument. According to Pujara, the scheduling of the Champions Trophy had already been confirmed weeks before the tournament, and the UAE was picked keeping in mind the logistical comfort. Renowned commentator Akash Chopra remains unsure if Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will retire from ODI cricket after the Champions Trophy 2025 final. He said if they do, they will only have Test cricket left at the international level. And let's move on now, viewers, to take a look at some of the top stories from the world of entertainment right here on Quick Morning. Delhi Boys stars Asif Ali and Sagar Sheikh are excited for the new Disney Plus and Hulu series to break new ground for the crime and comedy genres. The Delhi Boys creator wrote a sample script in 2019, hoping to secure a staff position in writer's room after transitioning from journalism to screenwriting. The 10-episode Hulu original comedy presented by Onyx Collective stars Sagar Sheikh, Asif Ali and Purna Jagannath. Creator Abdullah Saeed gave an idea about the story. Brian James, the founding guitarist of trailblazing British punks The Damned, has died at age 70. James helped to pen what is considered to be the first UK punk single, New Rose, and also the band's debut record, 1977's Damned, Damned, Damned. The Damned were formed in 1976 and are regarded as one of the founding bands of the British punk scene. James was born Brian Robertson in Hammersmith in London in February 1955. After playing in the proto-punk band London SS alongside Future Clash member Mike Jones, he formed The Damned with singer Dave Vanian, bassist Captain Sensible and drummer Scabies in 1976. And Amitabh Bachchan feels that his son Abhishek Bachchan is victim of nepotism negativity. Big B shared a post on X handle where the poster post pointed out that Abhishek had unnecessarily become a victim of nepotism negativity despite starring in good content movies with several successes at the box office. Big B reshared the post and wrote, "Feel the same? Abhishek Bachchan has always been subject to nepotism. Even before the word went viral, the Dhoom actor received backlash for his movie choices and was often compared to his parents Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bachchan. However, he always found support from his parents." The Gemstone family is back for the final press circle. The satirical comedy premiered their fourth and final season on a rainy Wednesday night in Los Angeles. The righteous Gemstones centers around a televangelist, a family torn between greed and God. Actor Adam Devine shared his view on the subject of the satirical comedy. And that's a wrap on today's edition of Quick Morning on Republic TV. But stay tuned, at 7 a.m. we go live this morning.